Now, you've all heard me talk about sextortion before, and I think it's probably the cruelest scam out there. It's where scammers pretend to be hot girls who randomly message you. Then they start flirting with you, and after things get a little heated, they start sending explicit photos. Of course, these photos aren't actually theirs, they're stolen from another person's OnlyFans or Pornhub account. But the victim, caught up in the moment, usually doesn't stop to think critically and ends up sending explicit photos of their own. And that's when the scammer reveals their true intentions and threatens to send those private photos to the victim's friends and family unless they send money. I don't know why scammers think that these teenage boys have access to all this money. Most of them are living with their parents. So when they feel like they're unable to pay the scammers, they often end up doing the unthinkable. Like I said, I've talked a lot about this scam, but I've never really gone after these scammers. Until now. And things are gonna get a little uncomfy in this video, so...
Viewer discretion is advised.
So I recently got a message on Discord from Dan Gleeballs, who's a fellow scam baiter. He said, if you get any leads for live profiles doing this, do you mind sharing them with me? I want to get in their PCs and start exposing these disgusting criminals. Now, this message intrigued me. Dan's a very smart guy, and I've gotten pretty sick and tired of hearing about these tragic stories. So with Dan on board, I decided it was time to play some offense. And I recently spoke with a sextortion victim who reached out to me. This was a young teenage boy who fell for this and he needed advice. We talked through it and I calmed him down, but then I asked if he happened to know the account name of the scammer who tried to threaten him. And he did. It was a TikTok account for a girl named Michelle. So I passed the account information over to Dan and I told him to do his thing. And now I'm gonna let Dan tell you what happened next.
So I went in, I've got a load of fake profiles that I use for baiting anyhow. So I had a fake TikTok profile, just a friend requested, started briefly messaging. She had a couple of pictures on there about kids, and for the location I can't remember, but I thought of it as a way to start speaking. We briefly hit it off, and then just out of nowhere, they asked me to transfer over to Signal. And that's where things got very, very interesting.
Why do you think that she wanted you to go to Signal instead of stay on TikTok?
So it's 100% that they'll get their profile banned. They'll use their initial profile on social medias like Instagram and TikTok and that, and then move them on to other platforms so that account stays live. But they could always get like a new Signal account should it be reported.
So once you go over to Signal, tell us what the conversation is like once you get over to that app.
Yeah, that's quickly changed into them pretending to be someone beautiful. They sent a couple of photos. I think there was a video on there as well. And they decided to start romancing me to a certain point and getting me sort of a little bit hot under the collar. From there, it progressed until they asked for my social media accounts on Instagram, which I didn't have one set up at the time. So I incorporated my stepmother, which is a bait profile that I use again.
So this scammer was trying to gather as much personal information as possible, including contacts like Dan's stepmom. So when it came time to blackmail him, the scammer would have plenty of people to leverage against him. Did she send you photos first, or did she ask you to send your photos first?
No, she sent me photos first, and then I sort of sent one a little bit like a shirt taken off, sent one of those, and then she sent me something else.
Was this your shirt that you took off personally, or?
No, it was just a generic thing I found online.
Okay, so you just found random nudes online from a random...
Don't check out my internet history. Yeah.
And then suddenly, Michelle's mood changed.
I know I was baiting and everything, but just the level of ferociousness that just happened straight away. There was just one point where we were talking, I was like, so what's going on? Are you sending this? And then all of these angry emojis started coming out and just message after message after message. So I video called just on the chance that he might pick up. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. He obviously hid, tried to hide for a brief period his face, but yeah, he was just being cocky, I think.
Now, obviously Dan wasn't going to pay this scammer. The pictures weren't even his and his personal contacts were fake. But that's when Dan noticed some interesting recent activity on the stepmom's Instagram account.
Yeah, so I had a couple of random friend requests on that specific profile. Now, it's been pretty dormant for a while. You get the odd occasional one, but there was 3 in succession. One of them was that initial profile that had been speaking to me. And then there was the other guy as well. and this is where it really got interesting, as we think that this could be the actual physical guy who used his real profile.
So Dan and I start trying to compare a picture from his Instagram and a still from the video, and they look very close. But I'm still not convinced. So I go to X to pull my followers, but they seem just as divided. Even AI was leaning towards them not being the same. But there's really only one way to find out if this is our scammer, and that's to confront him with it. So I did the same thing that Dan did, and I created a bait profile of my own. But I couldn't message Michelle if she wasn't following me, so I just had to follow her and hope that she found me interesting enough to contact me. I thought an anime profile picture with some Fortnite stories would make me look like a typical teenage boy, her target victim. But a couple of days went by and nothing happened. I thought, what do I gotta do to get this girl to like me? But eventually, I got a wave. She says, hello, how are you doing? I say, hey, how about you? She says, I'm doing pretty good. Nice meeting you. Where are you from? I say, Colorado. You? She says, Texas. I guess this scammer doesn't realize that Calgary is in a completely different country than Texas. But then she starts getting to know me by asking me my age and what I'm doing right now. Eventually she asks if I have Signal because TikTok messages don't allow you to share pictures. And for the parents watching, I'm just gonna say that maybe don't let your kids use apps like Signal and Telegram because they're basically like a playground for scammers and criminals. But an app that I do recommend you have them download is Aura, who's actually the sponsor of this video. Aura provides protection from identity theft, scams, and online threats for the whole family. With an Aura account, you have access to their suite of tools, which includes a VPN, a password manager, a data privacy assistant, and so much more. With a family plan, you have access to parental controls for your kids' devices, and these controls allow you to filter, block, and monitor specific websites and apps, set custom screen time limits, and even pause the internet with a single tap. The odds of falling victim to online crime is 1 in 4, so why not take every step to push the odds in your favor? Aura is an excellent way to do just that for you and your family. If you go to aura.com/pleasantgreen, you can try it for free for 14 days and check out all the different tools designed to keep you safe online. Best of all, you get 24/7 US-based customer service if you need assistance.
Thank you for calling Orin Identity Guard. My name is Angel. How can I help you today?
It's pretty quick. It's absolutely worth checking out, so try it for free for 14 days at aura.com/pleasantgreen today. So I go ahead and I download Signal and I add Michelle. Once again, don't try this at home. Well, Michelle says, hi, what's up? I say, just got home. Then she says, oh cool, what do you look like? I say, like a 16-year-old, LOL. I'm tall, what about you? She says, I want to see your pics, okay? And to string the scammer along, I needed to find some pictures of a young kid that looks around the age of 16. And this isn't hard to do because Instagram is full of people that I can easily catfish, just like the scammers do every day. This ought to be another wake-up call to parents and young people to lock down your social media and make it private. But I end up making one with AI and then I send it. And Michelle says, wow, you're so handsome. What do you do for fun? I say sports, I play lacrosse. She says, oh nice, I love swimming. And everything is going pleasant. But the next day, it takes a turn for the crazy. She says, I'm bored and horny. Can we exchange nude pics? No saving and no screenshot. Deal or no deal.
I guess you could say things are getting pretty serious.
I said, seriously? She said, yeah. I said, I still don't know what you look like. And then come the pictures. She says, deal or no deal. I said, what do you want to see? She says, your d***. And then she sends a very illicit picture of herself. And this makes me very uncomfortable. I'm a married guy with kids, and these pictures are of some random girl who has no idea this is even happening. But I can't lose my cover, so I act excited. She says, show me, and tells me to go to the bathroom and take pics of my own. Now, this is going to be very hard to show you on YouTube without destroying my channel, but I went and I found a pretty lewd picture that I could send him. And these aren't hard to find. There's plenty of adult sites where people willingly upload their stuff. But then I carefully cut out the face from the Olafir profile picture and I placed it directly on the stranger's private! And before I send it, I say, you said no screenshots. Yeah, sure, no screenshot. I said, I'm serious. Yes, babe, no screenshot. And then I sent it. And his response was surprising. He said, wow, so huge. Can you hold it and take a snap? Did he even look closely? So I cropped tight into his face and I sent it again. He says, why covering it? Who's this? And I said, you? He said, haha, that's never me, that editing fool. This is high time I expose you. And then he makes a guess that I'm the same guy as Dan who tried to bait him just a few days ago, and he threatens to release all the images that Dan sent. So now I'm thinking that maybe I've got the wrong guy. Maybe it was just happenstance that this Olafear22 account followed Dan's bait profile. But he thinks he has the upper hand because he has Dan's pictures. He says pay or post now, and then he starts counting down like he's actually gonna send out my photos. And you can see how frightening this would be to a young person who's actually in this predicament. So I continue to play along as a scared victim saying, oh please don't. He then threatens to send the pics to the FBI and all of Dan's social media followers. He even makes this strange graphic like it's going to be all over the news. Very strange. So I do what Dan did and I video call him so I can try to get a better picture of his face. But this time he's not answering. But then suddenly, Dan messages me. He said, OMG bro, I have proof he was logged into Olafear. I thought, oh really? So he shows me another video where he screen recorded his call with the scammer. Once again he's being cocky and he's showing off the photos he's collected. But as he's swiping through his apps, he accidentally opens Instagram where he's logged into his personal account. Olafear22.
I deal with these guys a lot, and they're so brazen. They can be real idiots. Like, if they create a fake profile, they'll use their own profile to friend it. And it crossed my mind, would he be that stupid? And I think, I think he was.
So this is our scammer, and he's just bluffing. And he thinks that he has my photos, but I actually have his. So I decide to just start screwing with him. I say, will you also send them to my girlfriend? I think she'll like to see them too. I can give you her number. Do you want a different angle? Let me take a better one. And then I start sending him pictures from his video. But he's not responding. Where did our tough guy go? I say, where's this blanket from? I like it. And then I play his own trick and I create a news chyron with his face saying Nigerian scammer tries to extort teen boys. I even link an article from a year ago where 2 Nigerian teens were extradited to the United States for this very same thing. I was gonna make sure to scare this guy stupid. Finally he responded, hey guy. And I said, hey, why do you do this? Are you there? Hey guy. Hey. And that was it. He either blocked me or disconnected his number from the account. And when I went back to his Olafear22 Instagram account, it was no longer found.
It's gone.
And that felt pretty good to confront him, and I really hope it rattled him and that he thinks twice before trying this scam again. Because as long as he's trying to blackmail teens and share their photos, I have no reservations about doing the same with him. So knock this crap off, scammers, because nobody wins when it comes to sextortion. Sorry if this video made any of you uncomfortable. I know it did for me, but this is one scam that we need to keep talking about until we stop seeing it. So keep yourself safe, especially you, my young friends, and I'll catch you in the next video.